The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to Dueling Comedians, where two comedians clash to see whose comedy kills and who gets killed.
Figuratively speaking, of course.
All this to determine who claims the coveted Dueling Comedians trophy. This is Dueling Comedians.
Hello to whomever you are, wherever you are. This is Tony V, and that queasy, uneasy feeling you feel somewhere deep in your gut is not last night's lobster roll. It is Dueling Comedians. And we are here to duel to find out who some of the funniest people in and around the area are. And this show will be no exception, I'm assuming. I don't know. And at stake is the coveted Dueling Comedians wrestling belt. It's right here. Someone's going to go home with that. At the end of this all, I will introduce you first to my sidekick and good friend, confidant, and all-around entrepreneur and good guy, Laugh Track Larry. How are you?
I didn't know who you were talking about,
you.
but then it was me.
I know. Right in the middle of that, I forgot who I was talking about, because in my head I went, I certainly don't mean Larry, but I did.
Well, I got to tell you, Tony, this is the highlight of my week.
I know, and that's really a sad thing.
Normally, I'm kind of down.
Yeah,
but I really get up
I know
excited for this.
I know you gin up, you screw up everything in you to get to the level that you bring to this show.
It's hard to maintain.
Yeah, and I, for one, appreciate it. I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
You are appreciated. And on our duelists, if I will, today, is a guy I've known for many years. We're friends. Yeah. Yes. Jimmy Bowes is here. Sorry. And a young lady I don't know all that well, but have seen about, is Brianna Classen. So welcome. You found it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're happy you're here.
Thank you. We're happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And so you've listened to the show. You know how it works a little bit. We're going to get to know you a little bit. So I'll defer to the woman first, because since I don't know much about you, tell us a little bit about yourself, Brianna.
I've been doing comedy 9 years now. I've run a few shows. I hosted a radio show for a couple years.
Where was that?
So it was through Unregular Radio in Boston, which was like an internet thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then they got bought out by Dig Boston, and then I
don't like them at all.
And then I did the radio show for Dig Boston. They shut down Dig Boston Radio after like a year, but
yeah, they couldn't keep it going. Yeah,
they didn't have the ad revenue.
And where are the shows that you do? How does that work?
Oh, the radio show?
Yeah, your live shows. Where can people see you?
I haven't booked that much stuff lately because I just helped open like 2 new restaurants in the North End.
Nice.
Yeah.
What Italian food, I'm guessing?
Yeah. So
see how good I am, Larry?
What gave it away?
She said North End, and I immediately said Italian food.
Man, you're smart.
You know, although on one of the little side streets, I hosted the meatball contest.
Oh, we were in that, but we showed up late. Ciao Bella.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I was the host of the meatball eating contest at the Fisherman's Feast last weekend, or whenever this airs. It was a few weekends. It was back in the summer. And we were doing the meatball eating. It wasn't a contest, I guess, to see the best meatballs.
Best meatball in the North End.
And I look up, we're on the corner of Fleet Street and one of the other little side streets, and there's a Mexican restaurant in the middle of the North End.
Yeah.
And I go, how are you surviving? How does this...
All the college kids who want burritos.
I guess at 2 o'clock in the morning.
So only so many times you can eat pasta a week. You know? I mean, I disagree with that.
Yeah,
but
of course. What are the names of the restaurants if people wanted to find them?
So Ciao Bella and North Square Oyster, they're connected.
Yeah.
And then we won the meatball contest last year with Tony and Elaine.
Tony and Elaine.
Yeah, so I worked there too. I almost wore the shirt for you, but I was like, I don't want to.
That's a crazy small world, because they were just opening then.
Yeah.
Last year, Tony and Elaine's, right? And then this year, part of our payment for doing the best meatball in Boston, I got a couple of gift certificates to Tony and Elaine's.
Yeah, I work there, and I work at Ciao Bella and North Square Oyster.
And that's Tony and Elaine's restaurant, not the Tony and Elaine's wedding that it's so popular with the young people.
North
play.
Washington Street.
It's on
in
North
Boston.
Washington
yeah,
Street.
it's
Beautiful.
really good.
So frequent them. And Jimmy Bowes, now we do know each other for quite some time. Played softball together.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In the Boston Comedians League.
Well.
And how's your life going in comedy?
Life of comedy is going pretty good. I just started a show at the Savin Bar and Kitchen in Dorchester on Sunday nights.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's your own show.
That's my own show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do an open mic 3 of the Sundays, and then the last Sunday we do a booked 3-comedian show. Like on August 25th, a couple weeks ago, we had Trisha. We had Steve Halligan on and Laura Severse, Chris Penny.
Yeah,
they were hilarious. It was a great show.
Yeah, that's good company right there.
Tony,
Yeah.
it sounds like the comedians need to take initiative and just start their own shows.
Yeah, because there's old dinosaur people like me.
You won't get out of the way.
I'm not until I die.
I took initiative. I don't know if
Right.
I don't even work here. I just came down and started
They-
pressing buttons, and
and-
I haven't left the chair.
Well, let's be honest, Larry. Who is going to mess with you?
Nobody.
Yeah, nobody.
Oh.
Yeah, nobody's going to move Larry.
Serious
Yeah, no, you're a
mistake.
rock, man. Yeah. But
Yeah, so that's what I did. I mean, I'm a teacher, so I don't get to get out that much.
Yeah.
And I just wanted a place where I could call home, and I sing and play guitar before the show, and I could
I
just
didn't know
be
you had
loose
that
and have my
talent.
friends
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I love
That's
doing
great.
it, but I don't get a chance.
Now,
much, so.
are you allowed to say, or do you want to say where you teach and what you teach?
I teach at Milton High School, and I teach history
Yeah.
and psychology.
Oh, history and psychology?
That's right.
Holy cow.
How does that make you feel?
Well, I was a psychology major in college, so I know what that's worth,
Yeah.
which is not much.
No.
But history,
So
there's always going to be
he
history.
could answer a question for me.
If you have a question, I'm sure he could.
Was Hitler crazy?
I'm gonna say yeah, because if I hesitate, I'm a beast. I think. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think
Good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that old joke about Hitler.
What's that?
Why didn't Hitler didn't drink? You know why?
Why?
He was a mean drunk. That is not my joke. That is a street joke. I'm just throwing that out there.
But imagine how bad it would have been.
Imagine how much worse it could have been if Hitler took a drink. That's all I'm
Tony,
saying.
That would've been
now
rough.
these street jokes,
Yeah.
they're on pieces of paper and you find them
In
on
the street. Yeah, that's what happens.
Wow.
Oftentimes, the day after trash day, I just find them
So
sitting around.
If I want to be a comedian,
Yeah,
what's
that's
the best neighborhood to find these?
I would say go to a funny neighborhood.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're going through a neighborhood and you go, I got a funny feeling, I'd stop there.
Right. Don't go
Yeah.
to like Wellesley.
Yeah, no,
something.
Wellesley. No, any place where there are like hedge fund guys or
Yeah.
money people, not funny.
All right.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Thank you. I'm going to
Yeah.
work on it.
Yeah, you should. And you can find them anywhere. Do you ever wonder about that? I mean, you're somewhat younger than me, and I don't know that you deal in street jokes, but do you ever hear a joke that you've never heard before, and it's an obvious street joke?
Someone
And someone wrote that.
Someone wrote
somebody wrote that Hitler joke, and you go, how? You've never seen it. It just comes to you.
Right.
My dad knows a lot of street jokes, and he'll tell me new ones. And if I laugh at it, he'll be like, you can use that. And I'm like, I can't.
No, I
That's
can't.
not
Right,
here. I'm
right.
not using that. Like,
That's not how it works. I write my own shit and I do it. Right.
yeah.
Right. Has your family been supportive of?
Oh,
of your-
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
My dad actually, like, when I was like 14 or something, took like Radigan's class thing
No
or whatever
kidding.
in Haverhill. So like, and I went and saw his like showcase thing
Yeah,
they did
yeah.
at the end, and like he was all right. Like my dad's a funny guy, but his material, I was like, it wasn't. People were laughing, but it wasn't for me. I was like, but he just yelled at me like yesterday, so I have a harder time finding his silly bits funny.
Right.
You know, like it's not.
Plus, it's your dad.
Yeah.
Right. Nobody wants their dad to be funny.
I mean, I do, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So does he do dad jokes or he's just a dad
No, he
that does
does-
jokes?
He doesn't do dad jokes. He's not like very like dad like where it's like, oh, I'm gonna light up the grill and we're gonna have some burgers. Like
pull my finger.
he's like, I made food. Do you want some? Like it's not. Yeah, like,
It's very specific to where you are at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and a lot of times when he has to, if we're like out having a beer, he makes a joke, he has to tell me under his breath, which is how I know it's not something he should be saying.
Right. You think I can say this? Yeah.
He'll be like, so this guy, and he has his best friend is black, and anytime he starts to talk about him, he gets quiet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Dad, that makes it not sound good anymore. Like,
yeah, right. I have old relatives like that who, went through the transition of knowing they shouldn't be racist anymore. And they knew the words they shouldn't say, but they still said it like they go, I work with this guy, nice guy, black fella. Like they said something, right? You go,
he can't help it.
He can't, right? Yeah. It's not his fault. You know what I mean? I go, all right, Auntie, thanks very much for clearing that up for me.
He'll be telling me a story about his friend, and he'll be like, so you know Tim's black? And I'm like, I'm aware. I've met the guy.
I've met the guy. It's pretty obvious.
I'm like, all right, what's that going to do with the story?
He doesn't have to put it on his resume. We get it. Right. It's weird for me because my son went into the business. My son Gus is doing stand-up.
Yeah.
And I never wanted it for him,
right.
But I can't stop him. So quickly, while the music's playing, how do we get a hold of you?
Instagram, BeClassy223.
Big Classy.
Jimmy Bose on Instagram or Jim Bose on Facebook.
All right. Listen to the guy peeing and the jerky commercial, and we'll be back.
Attention cigar smokers or even friends of cigar smokers. If you're looking to relax with a nice premium cigar or looking for a great gift for a cigar smoker, this is the gift that keeps on giving. Our friends at twoguyscigars.com have created the Cigar of the Month Club. For just $24.99 per month, you or your friend that you're gifting will receive 4 premium handmade cigars every month, and shipping and handling is included. Go to twoguyscigars.com, that's the number 2guyscigars.com, and find the Cigar of the Month Club in the menu and sign up. It's that easy. You can stop at any time, but you won't. There's no contract. It is just a tremendous deal. Go to twoguyscigars.com, that's the number 2guyscigars.com, find the Cigar of the Month Club, and sign up. At the same time, if you want to learn about the cigars you receive each month, you can smoke along with them on their own podcast called The Cigar Authority. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a nice premium cigar from our friends at twoguyscigars.com.
We're back at Dueling Comedians here at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, and you can find Dueling Comedians wherever fine podcasts are had. I don't even know how it works all the time, but if you just, I guess you could tell Alexa, right, Larry?
Alexa's really smart.
Yeah, and you just go find Dueling Comedians.
It's something to do with apps.
She would find it.
She would find it.
Oh, I know her.
Oh, you know Alexa?
Oh, yeah, I talk to her.
Yeah.
And she talks back, which is
back.
rare.
That's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
You have a little conversation with Alexa, do you?
I try.
Yeah, that's nice. Sometimes I think she thinks she's taken for granted. It's nice to have a friend.
I'll say, Alexa, why do bad things always happen to me?
Right.
But she
never answers. She doesn't know.
She'll say, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah.
Sad.
That is a little sad. I feel bad for both of you.
Thank you.
I really do. More for an inanimate object than you, which is pretty close to the same thing when you get right down to it.
Not too far
Yeah, not
off.
too. You're like a head wave away from being an Alexa.
Oh, it's a career option.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
All right.
So quickly again, before we get into the duel, if we want to see you guys, where would we see each of you, or how?
Well, you see me at 7 Bar and Kitchen on September 29th. We've got Trisha Ald and we've got Jonathan Tilson and Andrea Henry coming down.
Oh, nice. I like Andrea a lot. And Brianna?
You can usually catch me Monday nights at the Green Dragon. Starts at 9.
The Green Dragon's still going on.
Yeah, Jesse Cash still runs
Jessica
that.
Cassiano has been running that show for 20 years.
She's the best.
Oh,
that's
it's
probably the
unbelievable.
longest running show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I could remember running over there after old shows when the Comedy Connection was in Faneuil Hall.
That's so?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how long ago that's been going. So Good for you, Jessica
going
Cassiano.
It tells you something. If Tony was running, it was a while ago.
Well, I used that figuratively. I didn't.
Right.
Let's not, unless there's a piece of pie involved or a tree gonna fall on me, I ain't running anywhere.
I like pie.
Yeah, me too. We all like that. Okay, that means it's time for the duel, and I don't want to put any undue pressure on anybody here, but the belt is at stake here. So I'm going to hit this button, and again, I will defer to the young lady to go first.
Huh?
And here we go.
All right. So I really love eating in bed. It's definitely my favorite place to eat, which people really think it's kind of sad when you say you had dinner in bed. But when you say you had breakfast in bed, they change the tune all of a sudden. All of a sudden they're jealous. They're like, oh, breakfast in bed. And I'm like, yeah, it was at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was a chicken finger sub I had delivered. Still breakfast, though. Still counts.
So, Tony, you just mentioned your kid, Gus. You got two kids, right?
Yeah, I have Gus and Cecilia. You have two beautiful daughters.
2 beautiful daughters and a son. They're young, though. The hardest thing about when they're young is the whining.
Yes.
When you have kids, the whining is the hardest thing to deal with. Like, I come home, I don't even put my bag down, and the whining starts. It's like, I'm hungry, I'm tired, will you play with me? And then the kids come downstairs, and they start whining, too.
All right. So I'm not a big fan of vegans or vegetarians. I just don't like when they push all their values onto me about that. So, I hate when a vegan's like, how can you just look at a live animal and think about eating it? And I'm like, I don't think you understand. When I see a new animal I've never seen before, I'm like, ooh, I wonder what that tastes like. I was watching Planet Earth, and then I saw some, new rare tundra bird I'd never seen before, and it looked like a very plump mix between, a turkey and a peacock. And all I could think of is, ooh, I bet that bird is delicious.
Yeah, so being a parent has changed a lot of the way I do things. Like the way you drive through neighborhoods with kids in them. Like when I was young, you used to zip around and the old people get mad at you. But I discovered something since I started driving differently through neighborhoods with kids in them, that there's a fine line between considerate and creepy. 25 miles an hour is considerate. 15 miles an hour is a little bit creepy. That's when they start writing down the license plate.
So I have a financial advisor, which is kind of weird for me, and he's actually a guy I went to middle school with. And when I was in his office signing paperwork on the 30th floor of some tall building, and I'm signing stuff that's got my social security number on it, and I had a flashback to 7th grade when him and his friends were trying to get me to give him a hand job on the bus. And I didn't because my stop was next. But that's definitely not the kind of thing you want to remember while you're signing your life away in paperwork.
Not that you didn't want to give him the hand job. Your stop was next.
Who's to say?
Right.
And no, that was probably my first Me Too situation, to be honest.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, man. It was tough getting old. I took a long break from working out. You ever do that, Tom?
No, I've taken a long break from working out.
I just continued to keep it, you're letting it ride. I took a long break. I decided to get back into it. And they tell you when you're going to start working out that you have to start out slow, low impact, they call it,
right.
Riding the bike, walking. So I started driving 3 times a week, just 20 minutes. I didn't want to pull anything. It's nice that you can keep snacks on the seat next to you for the endurance workouts.
So I have a friend he's a huge health nut, and he's always trying to be you got to work out, you got to eat right, you got to do this, you got to do that. And he's like, you shouldn't just treat your body like a dumpster. I'm like, I don't think I do. I don't recall a time I've ever thrown an 8-ball of Coke or a case of beer into a dumpster, but.
Oh, man, this was so great coming up there, Tony. I was so excited. I was excited for the competition, I get the belt here and everything. I was getting so pumped up. I exercised a little bit before we came up. I did a few sit-ups, or I lay down a few times. It depends on how you look at it.
All right. I think that's it.
What?
Larry, you sleeping?
I'm good.
You all right? Hard to tell with you sometimes.
Are we done?
Yeah, I think that was it.
All right.
I'm pretty sure that was it.
Okay.
You know, I got a few words if you want me to jump in while you think about it.
No, well, I was just resting after all the laughter.
Yeah, there was a lot of laughs in there.
Oh, there was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the level of competition has really notched up here.
It really has. People come to play.
Oh, I mean, it may not look it, but I was enjoying that.
You know, you remind me of something, Jimmy. You look like you just dropped weight. Are people weird
did.
about that?
No.
Because
But
I have, and people always come up to me, they go, "Hey, you look like you lost weight, did you?" And I go, "No, I got it tied behind me like a ponytail. Don't go back there. You get hurt."
I have the kind of body where people always ask me if I just lost weight,
Right.
no matter what. So that means the residual image of me
Right.
is just so sloppy that when they see me, like, I don't look that bad.
You didn't look that bad, right? And then you also reminded me of another thing. There's a fine line between standing around and lurking. That's all I want to. I don't know what the real difference is, but it's there.
It's there.
Larry, how'd you do?
I did great.
Yeah, you did. Did you win this week?
No.
I'm waiting for a week that you actually just say I won and we go about our business.
Tony, once I find all my street jokes,
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge
Okay.
you.
All right.
Look for popsicle sticks.
Yeah, I got work to do.
All right.
Oh, yeah, they have little things on
Yeah,
them.
yeah. They have little quips.
That wasn't invented when I was a kid.
No.
It's just wood.
Just
There's nothing to do.
Nothing.
You eat the popsicle.
and that's it.
Well, you could make a house out of the
Sure.
sticks.
Did you ever make those things with it look like a fan and you threw and they exploded?
No.
Those were good.
You're going to have to
I'll show
me
you
that
that.
after
Yeah,
the show.
that's when I do my fifth podcast called Crafts with Popsicle Sticks.
Can I produce it?
Yes,
That's gonna
of
be
course.
hot. That's gonna
I'm
be
not
hot.
doing anything ever from henceforth without you.
All right. I feel like we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, go ahead.
This one, again, was really
It's tough.
close.
They both. Can I just say this? I have nothing to do with this, but you both came to play, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
And I liked that they both had some anti-exercise,
Yeah.
anti-health nut kind of, because I'm not a fan of
You're not a
those
huge
people.
fan. No, not at all.
No, but believe it or not, Tony, the deciding factor was the hand job
The
on
hand
the
job
bus.
on the bus.
I'm going to have to give it to Brianna.
Congratulations. Jimmy, nice job. Thank you very much. This is going to make your ride home even worse.
It's
I
gonna
can
be nice
tell.
now.
Now it's
I'm
going to be
excited.
better. All right. Great. So tune in. We're going to keep going. And Brianna will be back, for the first round of the belt competition. Keep it tuned in to Dueling Comedians at the Studio 21 podcast and find us anywhere on social media. Like us on Facebook and all of that. And we'll be here as long as I got a breath in me. Thanks for listening.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.